Hi, I'm Patrick Prince with the Tulsa World, joined by Frank Bonner, our Oklahoma State beat writer for the Tulsa World. Frank, we're officially at the halfway point of the season. OSU is 4-1, coming off a disappointing loss against Texas. If I'm an OSU fan, how am I feeling about this team right now?
As an OSU fan, you're probably feeling a little bit frustrated because going into Saturday, you were riding high. You've got a really good defense, the number one defense in the country in terms of third down conversions, and the offense let you down a little bit. This was a Texas team that you should have beat, and looking at how it played out with 4 turnovers and some key penalties and special team mistakes, you're a little bit frustrated coming out of Saturday with a loss.
You've had a chance to talk to Coach Gundy as well as a couple of players via Zoom since that loss. What's the mood of the program right now?
The mood seems more upbeat than you may expect after coming after a loss. But I think talking to some of the players, they realize that they still have a lot to play for. And if you're a little too down on yourself, that will snowball into more losses. So I think they're still confident in what they can accomplish and know that they have to come with the right attitude in order to beat K-State and further the season with maybe a conference championship.
Well, what do you expect out of the Cowboys this Saturday? Do you anticipate a little bit of a Texas hangover, or do you think they'll be focused and kind of get after it?
Yeah, after talking to the players, I don't think there'll be much of a Texas hangover. I think they'll come out, and both Josh Sills and Tyler Wallace said it's very important for them to come out in that first quarter and get on the right foot so they don't, have a Texas hangover. Josh talked about how Spencer Sanders was a little bit down on himself, feeling like he cost the team the game with the turnovers. And Josh basically told him it's a team game. Everybody could have, done a better block here or not had a penalty there. So I think Josh has did a really good job of lifting Spencer's spirits. And so I think they're going to go into K-State knowing they still have a lot to play for, and I think they're going to get after it.
Which player has impressed you most so far this season?
I'm going to have to go with the obvious choice, Tyler Wallace. And it's not because what he's done. I mean, he showed last year and the year before he can do the things that he's been doing this season. But coming off a knee injury like the one he had, there were a lot of questions if he was going to be the player that people expected out of him. And he showed very quickly that he can still go grab those jump balls. He can still make plays in the open field. I mean, he is the Tyler Wallace that everybody's used to seeing. And I expected that, but I don't know if I expected to see that this fast. It's almost like you don't even know he had an injury last year. So I think he's been very impressive in how he's been able to bounce back.
Frank, is there any player that maybe we haven't talked much about so far this season that you think we might be talking about toward the end of the season?
I would have to go with LD Brown, and I know he had the fumble on Saturday, but with Chuba Hubbard not necessarily being the Chuba Hubbard of last year, I think LD Brown has had some really good moments this season. And if he can continue to have those good moments, I think towards the end of the year, you can see LD Brown getting some really key plays and some key carries, possibly in late games to kind of, keep Hubbard fresh. I think LD Brown could be a very pivotal player as we get later on in the season.
All right. Well, Frank will be in Manhattan this weekend to check out the game against Kansas State. You can check out all of our coverage online Saturday evening at osusportsextra.com, as well as in the Sunday Tulsa World. Frank, appreciate the time.
Appreciate you always, Patrick.